Yeah, we told them, after the onslaught there of giving up 10 quick points that we had a long way to go. We knew our guys would settle in and responded well with a lot of 3 and outs. And I think in that second quarter, 9 snaps, 3 and outs. Great finish to the first half, and then great start to the second half. Kind of get us rolling, keep us rolling in the right direction. Really proud of them.
Did you make adjustments, or did you just tell them to stick with the game plan and keep doing what you're doing?
Yeah, no, stick with the game plan because really, like it's been several times this year when we've given up yards or points, it's not about what the opponent is necessarily doing, but really kind of self-inflicted wounds. The touchdown pass was a busted coverage. We didn't get in the right check off of what that formation was, and Keenan Ward had just come into the game and got us in the wrong check and got us exposed a little bit. But the first drive when we took the field on the sudden change, tried to get aggressive with the play calling, and we didn't switch the mesh route with Will Smith actually switched it off, and Sam McGuavin didn't, and that hit us for a big first play of the game down to the 16-yard line. But the guys bowed their neck like they have all year and held them to a field goal block opportunity for us. So I was proud of that. Stop off of a short field is really what we tell them. Short field, we want to get a chance for a field goal block or a takeaway. So really, once we got settled in, the guys really played some good defense.
How tough is it to work with 3 and outs in short fields like you did at the beginning of the game?
Say that again now?
Well, when the defense has to come on quickly like that with 3 and outs and
Yeah.
short fields and turnovers.
Yeah, we don't care about that. I mean, those guys are anxious to play. But seriously, I mean, they're really buying in. They're really embracing the opportunity to step on the field and defend the field and go after takeaways ourselves. So they're doing a good job. And, whatever the situation is, we get a chance to go back out and play. We're going to go out and play.
Coach, I know it's your first year, so you may not know how bad the tackling has been before. It's a huge change this year. What would you attribute that to in general? What would you say is a big factor to simply tackling well?
Yeah, actually, our tackling wasn't all that great Saturday. We especially in the third level play with some angles, pursuit angles, and guys ducking their head and throwing their shoulder at the ball carriers. And sometimes we're being aggressive at the point of attack where we might already have a guy stood up, and guys are actually not seeing what they hit and knocking would-be tacklers off. But I think just aggressive play, we're stressing all the time, finishing in practice, getting off blocks, good pursuit angles, everybody getting to the football and maybe overlapping some mistakes or some misses that we do have. But for the most part, it has been pretty good. There has been times during the season, TCU game late third quarter, a little bit in the fourth quarter, where we didn't tackle quite as clean, but stressing it. We're going to go back this week and really emphasize, especially on Mondays and Thursdays, where we don't, where we just have helmets, where we want to really stress finishing in a good strike position and getting all hats to the football.
9 of the 14 sacks have come during conference play, and you've only had 2 conference games. Is there an extra energy that you bring to the conference games?
I don't think so. I think these guys just want to play. I think we're going to play our menu, try to sprinkle in enough looks to confuse offensive lines and quarterbacks, and guys are doing a good job of really executing the scheme, and just proud of the way that we're all coming together and doing what we're doing. We're talking about sacks a lot. We're talking about takeaways a lot. We're talking about defending the field regardless of where the ball is, and really most proud of the fourth and goal stop again, when they had a chance, when really the game was out of reach, but just mentality that we don't want to give up points and we want to be stingy. And regardless if it's our first team, second team, or if it's third team guys in there, we're all accountable, and they're all buying into that and having fun with it right now.
Coach, the D-line's been great this year. Can you break down what's gone into that and what y'all have to do to keep it going?
Experience, with a lot of guys that have played. Really good coaching. John Scott's done a great job with those guys, and technique, fundamentals, understanding our scheme, moving those guys around into different spots to have success. Kerry Hyder's had to play a lot of different spots. Dartwan Bush, same thing. I think Brandon Jackson's had a really big year for us and had his first sack, I guess. He didn't announce that until we got home here the other night, but he was excited about that and had a chance at maybe 3 others. He was a step away and had hurries on the quarterback. So he's doing a nice job, and just depth and some of the guys spotting one another and keeping guys fresh. I know John's done a great job of rotating that front, and obviously on Saturday when we got into a rhythm and had several 3-and-outs, those guys stayed fresh, and we were able to keep the ones in and play aggressive.
Coach, would you talk about Iowa State a little bit and the problems that they pose, especially with the 200 yards rushing they got on Texas?
Yeah, we're going to have to stop the run game. That running back number 2 is a really good player, can take the lid off. The quarterback's playing with confidence as he progresses. Number 9's a go-to guy. They've got some good receivers. Going to see some speed again on the perimeter. Really big offensive line. Looks like their offensive, they've kind of shuffled the deck a little bit with their offensive line, but it looks like they're starting to come together. And the interior line play of their guards in their center are going to be something that we're going to have to handle and do a good job of.
Last week, y'all talked a lot about the 390 you mentioned of the players that they put up. Is the 2011 game where they came in here and really put it on? Was that something you guys are stressing this week to get back to that?
Well, somebody mentioned that last night in the building. I have not looked at that game yet, but I certainly will once I have some time to do that. I think that'll be something that we will talk about, because I know Guavin and Brandon Jackson, several guys that are with us right now were involved in that. And I know that was embarrassing performance as a defense, something that we certainly don't want to have a repeat occurrence of. And really for us, what we stress, it's not really who we're playing, but it's all about us and our room defensively, and we can control what we can control, and we'll continue to point out when we don't do our jobs. If we don't do the right things, we're going to get exposed, and really try to get stingy on the numbers with the points and the yards and continue to build on this thing. But we certainly are a unit that cannot take the gas off. If we don't play at our best with emotion and physical, violent play, then we'll certainly get exposed. So it'll be up to our coaching staff again this week, and certainly our senior leadership to get us ready to go at 11 o'clock on Saturday.
Matt, were you surprised with Kansas's pass-to-run ratio in the game?
Yeah, it was a little bit, I really thought he'd come out and try to jam the ball down our throat a little bit, having success with us last year. I know they've been shuffling the deck there with the offensive line, but I really thought they were making steps forward coming out of the La Tech game, and I certainly thought that he'd come in trying to maybe run down our throat, in between the tackles and see if we could hold up, but that certainly wasn't the menu. And, we've seen some of that other stuff, so our guys just, like I said, played the menu, played our package, and really never panicked. I mean, they had the student section in behind us heckling us, especially when we got behind by 10, and we never flinched. We talk to our guys all the time. Panic is not in our game plan, so we'll just keep doing what we're doing, keep sawing wood, and they certainly responded. It was good to see it.
Coach, can you talk about Bruce Jones, just what he's been for you guys this year?
Solid, really good leadership, good confidence, playing with a good swagger. Has really been, he's playing technique, doing what he's supposed to do, and he's doing all the little things off the field as far as film preparation and maybe extra reps, or just working with receivers after we come off the field. Just all the little things that you like to see guys do on a day in and day out basis to make his craft or make his performance the best that he can possibly make it on Saturdays.
He seems to be, as a cornerback, which is unique, I guess. He likes the physicality. Is that what you see?
Yeah, he's a scrapper. I call him. I said last spring I nicknamed him Scrappy Doo. He's just little short, sawed-off, stocky guy that, you know, a lot of people probably thought was too short to play the game, but he is a competitor, and we thought all along in the spring if he would keep the gas on himself and just self-motivate and self-charge that he would be a really good player, and he's obviously bought into what we're doing.
Who graded out the highest on Saturday?
We had a lot of high grades, to be honest with you. Kerry Hyder was the defensive player of the game. J.J. Gaines played really solid for us. Will Smith, again, another, you know, I think his production point was in the 20s. Kerry Hyder was mid-20s production-wise. Brandon Jackson played well. Bruce Jones played well. Sam McGuavin. And then our outside backers, Terrence Bullitt and Pete Robertson, weren't overly flashy, but very, very solid performances. So a lot of winning grades, which is good to see. And we hit 11 of our 13 goals as a unit, which is always good, and we stress that weekly. So that one's behind us, and we'll look forward to the challenge ahead and see what we can do this week.
I forgot to ask Cliff, you know what Trey Porter's status is right now?
I don't, just day to day, and I don't know if, really haven't heard the updated report on him since noon here. So I think he's just day to day. Hopefully we'll have him back. He's been very, very solid and a great leader for our secondary and really for our defense.
Jackson Richard has the most turnovers on the team with 2 fumble recoveries and an interception. What does he do to be in the right place at the right time?
Just does what he's coached to do and plays high motor. You know, he's played nose guard, he's played tackle. We moved him to end behind Brandon Jackson for the KU game. Didn't get a lot of reps just because of the way the flow of that game went with a lot of 3 and outs, so our ones played a bunch, and then when he had an opportunity to go in and make plays, he's being productive, and doesn't, if he's not getting the reps that he thinks he might, you know, that's the thing about our defense right now is they're not playing, they're just playing as a unit. Nobody's really playing with you know, just for themselves. They're playing for one another, and they're playing within the scheme, and they're playing their role, and that's what he does. Whatever job we ask him to do, he does it.
On your defensive front three, with all the guys that you have there playing kind of 2 spots like Hyder and Richards, are those guys being moved sometimes from game to game to get matchups, or is it just rolling them to keep people fresh?
Both a little bit maybe, and also just trying to start from getting our best, what we think might be our best that particular week, our best front 3 on the field first, and then branch it out from there. And we're, you know, we'll shuffle the deck however we have to, but certain guys can learn multiple positions. Hyder's one of those guys that can do that, and obviously Jackson Richards can do that. Dartwan Bush can play tackle or end. Some guys are interchangeable, and really with Kerry, you know, putting him in the centerpiece of this defense has really been solid for us.
Coach, we saw Eric Ward statistically reemerge on Saturday. Does his demeanor change at all, whether he's got 0 or he's got a big day like he had?
Well, it helps. You know, it helps whenever he's having a big day and he's being able to make plays. But if you watch the film from the first 4 games, you know, whether he's involved heavily or not, he's still playing very hard. And you know, he plays every snap like he practices really hard. So, but it definitely helps. It gives him a little bit more, I guess, energy and what, you know, when he gets into the flow of the game that way as far as catching the ball. But he plays hard regardless.
When did Derek start in the position?
It's just a coach's decision.
How is, with the continued uncertainty at quarterback, how does that affect offensive continuity, or to what extent does that affect offensive continuity?
Well, I think that it makes, you know, if you make it an issue, it is an issue. And I think I know for my meeting room, my skill guys, they go out there and they run as hard as they can no matter who's out there. They block as hard as they can. So we've got, you know, 3 capable quarterbacks that are really good. We're very fortunate to be in that situation. And you know, I think from an offensive standpoint, really the O-line, I think if you can get continuity with your O-line, you're going to be moving the ball in the run game well, and pass protection is not an issue. Then, you know, any of those 3 guys can move the ball and win games.
What have you noticed in the past about Colorado's coach defense?
Oh man, they're some of the best defenses to watch, and you know, each week that we have played them in the last 3 going on 4 now years, it's a huge challenge, and it's an exciting week because you get to watch a defense that's very well coached. Coach Burnham, the experience that he has, the way they play, they're very sound, and it's a deal where you watch them on film and you think that you may have you know, a couple of things on them, but you don't because of how sound they are, how well prepared their players are, how well prepared their coaching staff is from the standpoint of breaking down your tendencies. So, you know, it's an exciting challenge for us because they're so well coached, they play so hard, and you know, just a group of guys that play well together.
Coach, obviously last time they were in here was you know, a tough game for you guys. What do you remember most about that game back in 2011, coming off the OU win?
Well, I just think that it was probably one of the most embarrassing losses that I've been a part of here. It was a game where we didn't handle success very well the week before. Had a big win and came in here, and that's the thing about this conference is that every week you have to be mentally tough in terms of handling success. And so I think that sums it up. I mean, it was an embarrassing night, and we didn't have anything go our way.
Sonny, being someone who's played here in a year where student attendance is down in a lot of places around the country, and here it's up by almost more than 4,000 a game. What do you think that says about the things the staff is trying to do and just the support that the students have here for this team?
Yeah, we appreciate the students coming out and supporting us as well as they do. You know, we've talked about a lot as a staff of protecting the Jones and making this place a place where people don't want to come in and play. And a big part of that is our fan support and how loud they are and how energetic they are. And you know, it's an 11 a.m. game, but we fully expect them to come early, to be loud, and we really appreciate it because I think our kids are the one that benefit the most. They support our players, and as peers, I mean, that says something. You know, when they come to the football games and they support our guys, and so that's the biggest thing that we're encouraged by is for all the hard work that our guys have put into it. They're getting supported so well.
Do you think having 6 alums on the staff makes an impact on the high student attendance?
Well, I don't know whether it does or not. They may not even know who any of us are except for Coach Kingsbury. But I think, you know, just overall, just the tie from us playing here and how passionate we are about this place and that, you know, we're excited to be here and we're glad that our fans show up to this point and are excited to be here.
Go back to last year's game, getting a big win on the road at Iowa State. How big was that for the guys that had kind of been around and had trouble with Iowa State?
That was a huge win. I know before the season we talked about it. It was a game that we had to get because we had you know, weren't able to get those guys the first 2 years, and they're just such a good team. And I think you watch them on film, and the more you watch them, the more you see it. And so to win at their place last year was huge, and you know, because of the type of team they are and the type of coaches they are.
Last year was a lot of talk about those 2 linebackers they had. How different is that defense this year?
Well, it's the same scheme-wise. It's a lot of the same. You know, you see Jake Knott's little brother out there, so that makes you a little queasy just seeing a Knott out there because those 2 linebackers were some of the best that we played, some of the best I've ever seen. And they've replaced him with his little brother. And then their safeties are probably 2 of the best safeties that we'll face this year. Their corners are scrappy corners. They compete. They play really hard. And so, you know, it's just a defensive unit that presents a lot of challenges because they're so sound and they're talented.
So you've got 3 quarterbacks now this year who are pretty much interchangeable, and quarterbacks seem to have been interchangeable season to season, starting with Kingsbury. Talk about what the Tech quarterback is about and why each one seems to find success in the system.
Well, I think that the repetitions that you get during practice, whether it's mental or just the course of our walkthroughs, from the time we start practice to the time we end practice, the amount of team reps that you get, and I think for a quarterback, the team reps are the most important reps to get. And so Coach Kingsbury's done a good job getting those guys a lot of reps, whether it's walkthrough or live action. And those guys have made the most of it, because you can give a lot of guys reps and some don't get any better. But these guys, all three of them, have taken upon themselves to study it. They're competitive. They all want to be the guy. And so, some of it is the repetitions, and then a lot of it is their talent and their determination, becoming the players that they want to be.
Sonny, theoretically, let's say if Baker were not available Saturday, if Michael were not quite there yet, how prepared would Davis be if he were to start?
Oh, I think he'd be really prepared. I mean, I think he's a kid that even when he wasn't playing, prepared that way, as if he was, as from a mental standpoint during practice and then watching film during the week.
And as a former quarterback and a guy that's seen Brewer, struggle through this injury, how good was it to see him get out there and maybe take a few hits and kind of get back in the flow of things?
Well, I think it was probably more beneficial for him to kind of see that he got hit, and first play in there he got hit, and to see, okay, I can take this, and to help with the confidence, because coming back from an injury, I think that's the biggest thing, is the confidence in your body that you can move around and do the things that you did before it.
Sonny Jace has 38 catches through 5 games. That ties Crabtree from 5 years ago. What do you continue to see his evolution?
Well, I think his route running ability is improved since his first year on campus. I think that he was big and talented, could run fast, but his route running in his hands, I think he's really gotten a lot of confidence in his hands, and that was something the first 2 years in coaching him that he really battled, was confidence and in his hands, and then his route running ability has just continued to get better and better and better. And then I think he's really became completely confident in his abilities as a receiver and as a tight end. So just hopefully we can continue to push him to get better.
Sonny, with the way Iowa State lost that game and all the circumstances that were involved last week, what kind of mentality do you expect them to have?
I would expect them to be pretty ticked off and coming out ready to go. They're playing for a very passionate coach who cares a lot about his team, obviously, and I think that anytime you have a situation like that, you want to get back out on the field as quickly as possible.